The sky was a mosaic of deep purples and fiery reds as the two suns began to set on the alien planet where I had crash landed. My ship, a sleek marvel of human engineering, lay in ruins not far from where I sat. The strange, rocky terrain stretched endlessly, dotted with luminous plants and glowing fungi that seemed to pulse with life. Yet it felt desolate, lonely. I had only a few days' worth of rations and no way to contact Earth for rescue. As night fell, I noticed movement from the corner of my eye. A shadow flitted across the jagged rocks, silent but unmistakable. My pulse quickened. The planet's ecosystem had shown no signs of large predators, but I was cautious. Slowly, I turned on my flashlight, its beam slicing through the inky darkness. That's when I saw her. She was unlike anything I had ever imagined. Her skin shimmered like liquid silver, catching and refracting the light. Her eyes, enormous and a vivid emerald green, radiated both intelligence and hunger. Her form was humanoid but otherworldly, her movements graceful yet hesitant. She seemed fragile, her thin limbs trembling slightly as she stared at me. It took me a moment to realize what was etched into her alien expression: desperation. She was starving. Instinctively, I reached for one of the ration packs strapped to my side. My survival instincts warred with a deep-seated compassion. This was my food, my lifeline in an unforgiving environment. But the sight of her, so gaunt and hollow, made the choice for me. I tore open the pack, revealing a vacuum-sealed protein bar. Her eyes widened, and for a fleeting moment, I thought she might attack. Instead, she remained still, watching me with a mix of suspicion and hope. Slowly, I extended the bar toward her. She hesitated, then reached out with trembling hands. Her fingers brushed mine. Her touch was cold, yet oddly comforting. She brought the bar to her lips and took a tentative bite. Her reaction was immediate, a soft sound that was unmistakably relief. She devoured the rest in seconds, her movements growing steadier as the food replenished her strength. "Do you understand me?" I asked, unsure if communication was even possible. Her head tilted, those luminous eyes studying me. Then, she raised a hand and pointed to her chest before touching her lips and extending her arm toward me. It was a gesture of gratitude, universal despite our vast differences. Over the next few days, the alien woman and I developed a tentative bond. She showed me which local plants were safe to eat, how to draw water from the glowing fungi, and even where to find shelter from the sudden storms that swept across the landscape. In turn, I shared what little I had, more rations, tools, and bits of Earth's language. She seemed especially fascinated by my attempts to teach her words, repeating them back with a melodic cadence. But as her strength returned, I noticed a growing restlessness in her. One evening, as the sky burned with the light of twin sunsets, she gestured for me to follow her. We walked for hours, her movements purposeful and quick. Finally, we arrived at a clearing where an enormous structure, a blend of organic and mechanical design, loomed. It pulsed faintly as if alive. She turned to me, her expression a mix of sorrow and gratitude. I understood. This was goodbye. She reached out, her fingers brushing my cheek in a gesture that felt deeply personal. Then she stepped toward the structure. A doorway appeared, and she paused, looking back one last time. Her emerald eyes seemed to convey a message I couldn't quite grasp. Then she was gone, the doorway sealing behind her as the structure rose into the air and disappeared among the stars. I stood there alone once more, but changed. She had shown me not just the resilience of life, but the power of compassion across the vast chasm of difference. As I made my way back to my crashed ship, the night seemed less lonely, the alien world less hostile. Somehow, I knew I'd survive. And I knew, wherever she was, she would remember me too.